Hello guys, welcome to one more video. In this one, this is a update of my monk build. At the moment I'm doing basically a ice strike build. I changed it like 2 days ago because I felt I was struggling a little bit against higher bosses, so I had to do some changes. At the moment I feel like I'm a bit weaker against like doing breaches and something, not breaches, I feel comfortable doing breaches, but when just clearing the map I think it's a bit slower. But I can do much more damage against bosses, and I can basically almost one-shot them. So it's very helpful because those are very important, especially when you're doing like the Breach boss or the Lyrium boss. It's really important that you don't fail those ones. So firstly, I want to talk about the changes I did, because if you are not that strong at the moment, will be a better option for you to use my previous build. So my builds previously, I had all the points for charged power charges. All right, so I had this one, the resonance, to convert the power charges instead of frenzy charges, and then I had all of these ones. Already forgot where is it, but we have this one with power charges, this one with power charges, this one. So I had all of my points, which I have now on critical strike, I had on the maximal power charges, and I was using just charged stuff. I think was much easier to clear all the waves, and I was using combat frenzy. So at the moment I swapped those ones. So I'm using Grim Fist because I have a lot of spirit at the moment. Grim Fist, I'm on 90k base damage for Ice Strike, and I'm using Elemental Invocation. This one helps me a lot to kill those bosses real fast. Okay, so talking about my previous build, I was not using Grim Fist because this one has a reservation of 30 spirit, the same thing for Grim Fist. So if you want to do this easier build, if you are not that strong yet, this is a good one. So you should use Combat Frenzy with 50% chance to get additional charge, increase mana regeneration, generate life, and on the charged stuff I had Exposure, apply it by support skills. I had this one, lightning exposure, shocking it every 50% to shock enemies in 2.5 meters, and cold exposure as well, because if you're using charge stuff and you don't have high damage, this will make your build to work easier. The one I'm doing with the two heralds, the ice and the thunder or storm herald. So this was my previous build. Now I want to talk about my current build. Alright, firstly I want to talk about the gear, because I think people don't talk much about the gear they are using, but I think it's the most important thing. If you don't have a strong equipment, you will not be able to use this build. It will be much harder for you to use this build without charged stuff, because as you guys can see I don't have much skills. I have 5 skills, and these two are only used against bosses, this one as well, and to clear everything I use Ice Strike and Tempest Bell most of the time. So I have this amazing quarter stuff, increased physical damage, increased elemental damage, critical damage bonus, really great stuff. I have this ring, Lazuli ring, increasing my cold damage. I have this Breach ring, increasing my cold damage and some more resistances. And all of the other gear, it's basically evasion, and resistances, as you guys can see. Alright, same thing for the gloves, evasion rating, energy shield, and the energy shield on this build is important. I will explain you why. Some more maximal life, in movement speed, super important for you to clear the maps and do all your content. This belt gives me 2 charm slots, so really great when you are stunned, when you are frozen or poisoned. This helps me a lot to survive. So you need a bit of increased regeneration mana or life on kill, because Ice Strike will consume your mana a lot. If you're using Ice Strike with charged stuff, it will increase the mana you are using. Alright, so let's talk about the equipment and the stuff I'm using at the moment. So talking about, firstly we want to talk about the passive tree. So I have the Vortex NDC as well. I have these ones to increase my extra cold damage and create shield ground. This one as well to give extra lightning damage, shocking enemies, unbound avatar, and this one, it's really great and works with evasion basically. This converts your invasion to spirit. I have 223 at the moment because I have an invasion rating of 1858, and this will get that invasion only from body armor. Okay, only from body armor, only from this piece you'll get this amount of spirit. Okay, you will be converted your energy shield and evasion rating into this spirit. So it's really important to have a great chest for this build. Then, if not, you need to use a chest with spirit. So this is my build at the moment. I have a lot of critical strike chance and a lot of invasion. Basically, this one is to increase your critical. I have a point here just to complete my build because I need a little bit more spirit, so I just need to upgrade my chest to one even better, which I know it's very expensive at the moment. These ones will increase your damage, freeze build up, very helpful for this build. We have some attack damage, some mana leashed, we have some more invasion rating here, freeze build up, and cold damage. This one is to critical strike, and critical damage. This one same thing, my plan is to complete these ones eventually. We have more invasion rating here, reduced cost of skills and attack speed, and more cold damage and freeze build up, and more critical strike. Okay, it's basically this, my builds on my passive tree. Then about the skills, the gem skills. So we have Unbound Avatar with all the level plus level 1 for cold, lightning and fire skills. We have 40 more skill effect duration. I had this one on the charge stuff, but since I don't have it anymore, I want this Unbound Avatar to last longer because it will increase our damage a lot. We have Grim Fist, will give us a little bit more of survivability, giving us this chance to drop a remnant that will give you shield, energy shield. So every time you're doing like breach and all that stuff, you get a big amount of shield. Then we have Ice Strike, 90k damage. These support gems help a lot to increase your damage. We have attack speed, we have area damage, we have weapon elemental damage and maximum physical damage. Okay, all of these will increase your shield, your damage. There are another gems you can use. I don't have here at the moment, but there are another gems you can use to increase your damage with the Ice Strike. If you are spending too much mana, this is the perfect support gem to use, the Inspiration. When I'm fighting a boss, if I struggle with mana, I change this gem to my build, and this way you're not gonna struggle with mana, trust me. Then we have the Tempest Belt. We have the 35 more physical damage, 1 plus limit. We have 50% increased critical chance against immobilized enemies, so when they are freezed, they will take more damage. We have Leech, physical attack damage from into mana. We have Hand of Shaula, another one I only use against bosses, or you can use against rare monsters as well. This one I will apply a Hypothermia Curse, the Freezing Mark, and this one will support skills of Culling Strike. So basically these ones will increase the chance to freeze your target and to do more damage with your cold skills, and this one will make them, it will give you an ability to Cooling Strike. So basically if they are, I think it's like 10%, 30%, 20% to rare, and uniques 5%. So when you reach that amount of HP on your enemies, they will die before reach the 0 life. Okay, so this way you don't need to fight them that much. Then we have Elemental Evocation. Basically you want to use the Tempest Belt and then spam Elemental Evocation. You guys are gonna see it's a crazy damage. So we have the Ball of Lightning. Don't use the highest level. You can see this 11. It's enough because the higher the level, the more the amount of intellect required. So we don't want to invest much on intellect, so this one is perfect. This one will increase the gain energy, so we can use it more often. We have this one that will do less damage but will create more additional projectiles, and this one will make them travel slower. Okay, so they will do more damage because they are traveling slower. Then we have some more buffs. These are defensive buffs. We have the Wind Dancer. This is a priority for you. It's really good, especially for monks or even ranger. This one gives you each stage gives you 19% more evasion rating. So if you have the 4 stages, it gives you a lot of percentage by evasion rating. And if you increase the quality, it gives you 1 extra stage, so more evasion rating. This one, when activated, gives a 100% chance to blind enemies, 4% of life recover on kill, and support attacks will always maim on it, so they will make them slower. Then we have the Ghost Dance, another great buff to survivability with your character. So every time they manage to eat you, okay, so I have 89% evasion, which is a lot. So when they manage to hit me, I will consume one of these Ghost Shrouds and will recover shields equal to 5% of your evasion. So I have a lot of evasion, I will recover a lot of energy shield. And this will lower the skill effect duration, so will be not 3.15 seconds duration between gaining, will be less. Then we have our super important heralds, which increase our damage because of our passive skill trees, and also will do a lot of damage and create that reaction explosion. As you guys can see, I don't have the unique ring to increase our explosions because I already have good amount of damage, so I can make the same effect without the ring. So on this one, I have Herald of Ice, really good to invest your quality as well because you'll increase your radius of explosions. This one, more area of effect. We have more 25% attack damage of damage as extra lightning damage, because we're going to check the next one. We have also the support skill to 100% more chance to shock, and I will understand how this works after showing you all the support skills. Attacks gain 35% of damage as cold damage when freezing an enemy, and this one works better on this, by the way. Then Herald of Thunder, we have 25% extra damage as extra cold damage, and we have 50% more freeze build up, 35% more attack damage to enemies further than 7 meters from you, and 100% chance more critically chance against enemies that are full life. So basically, when you're damaging your enemies, they will be frozen, okay? They will be frozen, they will explode. So when they explode, all the monsters behind will take damage from the explosion from the Herald of Ice, which will be 25% as extra lightning damage, and you also have a chance to shock. So those enemies will take an insane damage, they will be shocked, and when they are shocked, the Herald of Thunder will be activated. So when the Herald of Thunder is activated, since we have some cold damage and freeze build-up, this skill will make them freeze and they explode as well. So it's basically a reaction that will happen between them, and it's like a massive explosion, especially during Breach. You will see all the map being cleared with just this, okay? And you don't need charge stuff, this works as well with the Ice Strike. Besides this, we talked about gear, skill gems and passive skill, that's basically it. And there's some more tricks you can use. As I explained at the beginning, if you are struggling, this build requires a really good gear and a really good amount of damage. So if you don't have that high damage, I advise you to use the Combat Frenzy first with the charge stuff, and you can take all these critical strike points and invest on those power charges, because it helps you a lot, will increase your critical damage as well when you consume power charges. So it's a really good one to start with, and since you use all of these support skills that give you exposure, will make your life easier to activate your heralds, okay? So they will have more exposure, so more chance to be shocked and to be frozen. Alright, that's basically how this build works, and this is the 2 ways you can do it. If you don't have enough damage, you can also use the ring. If you are using the ring, it will be much easier to create that explosion reaction. Alright, if not, and you already have a lot of cold damage, as you guys can see I have cold damage on both of my rings, this will work really well. And I mean, you guys can see, I'll show you some gameplay after this, just clearing a tier 15 map. I've been doing tier 15 very easily. I think I die like 1 in 20 maps because I get too much overconfident, and eventually sometimes I'm just standing looking at the equipment that dropped, and then eventually I die because there's a poison or something like that, but that's just my fault. If you use your skills and you dodge the chaos damage, you should be fine. And this is basically my build. So I'm gonna let you guys with the gameplay, doing some bosses and tier 15, and you guys can see how this build works. If you guys have any question, just comment below. I'm happy to help you. I'll leave the link of this passive skill tree, and I've not done like a proper build in like max roll or mobilytics, but if you guys wish, I can create one. Eventually I want to do it, but this game consumes a lot of time, and since I work as well, it's really hard to manage both things. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. If you want to watch more content about Path of Exile 2 in my channel, don't forget to leave that like, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna leave you guys with the gameplay, and see you next time.
Freezing strike!